are you white?
Oh my god, Karen, you can't just ask people why they're white.
Hey Sweet Peaches, it's your girl Carrie. I recently got the Forbidden No-No number, and it was pretty exciting because I didn't expect I'd reach that number at all. Then, I went to bed, and woke up to this many people by doing jack squat. So, now I gotta come out of retirement because I've won by doing absolutely nothing. When Chloe was first introduced, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little indifferent about her. No, scratch that. I'll be honest. I found her annoying. It was up there with Mandy, but not quite close to my personal list of annoying characters. Could you blame me though? Chloe was pretty much the reason why everyone got akumatized. She basically terrorized everyone while playing the victim. She never wanted to take responsibility for her actions, showing cowardice in the process. But little did I realize this was just the beginning of her character arc. The thing is, seeing her from season 1 to season 2, she acted like a genuine early teen character. I'll get back to this later. As the daughter of Andre the Mayor of Paris and Audrey Bourgeois, a fashion designer, we got ourselves the typical wealthy rival who is very skilled at manipulation, cheating, humiliating, bribing, and threatening. She has done so on many occasions, such as when she stole Ladybug's derby hat, or when she forced Sabrina to lock Juleka in the bathroom, or when she threatened Mr. Damocles to punish Alia. On the surface, Chloe portrays a bratty, rude, mean, and terrible personality, but on the inside she's soft, sweet, and vulnerable. For example, when she showed a bit of remorse when she forgot Miss Boostie's birthday. Chloe doesn't seem to have any other friends than Sabrina, who she treats like a lapdog and servant rather than an actual friend. I'll get back to this too. There are good qualities to her that may not outweigh her terrible behavior, but they help make her a rounded character. Because she views Ladybug as her inspiration, given that she pretends to be her when playing with Sabrina, it shows that she's imaginative and creative. It was around season 2 that I began to like Chloe's character further, because it began showing a bit more of her background and fleshing her out. It showed where she got her personality and catchphrase from, but ultimately her character was set. You knew who she was by the beginning of the series. I don't really like using the word cliche, but it fits. Rich parents that neglect their kids and try to make them happy with materials and or money is cliche. It seems to be a common trope with this series that if you're rich, you're a complete butt to your kids. Chloe's parents are emotionally abusive towards her. Her father can give her all the things she wants to feed into her desires, but at the end of the day he is not there for her, and neither is Audrey since she neglects her, as evident in Style Queen. Her parents' neglect shaped her into who she is because she copes with it differently as opposed to Adrien and Kagami. While Adrien continues to have a positive outlook on things and Kagami sports a stoic attitude, Chloe deals with it by utilizing anger as a defense system. This seems to have affected her relationships overall, mainly with Adrien and Sabrina, and, by extension, Marinette. I'll start with her friendship with Sabrina. As I said before, she treats her more like a lackey than a friend. She berates and humiliates her along with the others. She even got her father to fire Sabrina's, which led to his akumatization. You get the point. Despite bullying Sabrina and ordering her around, Chloe continues to hold on to that friendship. I'm pretty sure that deep down Chloe wants Sabrina to stay. In fact, she probably bribes her with gifts in order to manipulate her into staying. I'm sure Chloe thinks of Sabrina as a friend, but may not know how to treat someone well because of the way she grew up. She sees her mother treating her father like trash in public, and Andre doesn't do anything about it, really. And since she grew up around a man who knows how to cheat, humiliate, lie, and fool people, Chloe's relationship with Sabrina mirrors that perfectly. Chloe is aware she would be completely alone if Sabrina were to abandon her, since none of the other students genuinely like her. She learned how to build relationships terribly by witnessing her mother not only treat her father harshly, but others too. Her relationship with Adrien is a little different. It's through him we were able to experience a more vulnerable side to her. Chloe and Adrien had been friends since childhood. If anything, they both know each other better than anyone else in the series. I would have loved it if the show expanded on her childhood more with Adrien, but it's only told, not shown. Her feelings for Adrien is obvious as shown through season 1 and a bit of season 2, and heck the opener for goodness sake. But Adrien returns those feelings on a platonic level. While he's uncomfortable with Chloe's physical closeness, he makes sure to let her down gently, not because he's afraid of her, but because he knows she'll overly react to his rejection. He knows she takes things to heart, which is why he acts gentle to her most of the time. However, Chloe continues to disrespect Adrien's boundaries. It's rude, but at least she doesn't outright stalk him or do creepy shenanigans. Her fear of losing him for good is probably the catalyst for her clinginess. It's different from losing Sabrina. However, in terms of abandonment, it lies within Marinette sharing feelings for Adrien as well, because Chloe views Marinette as a threat to her relationship with Adrien overall. Some people don't mind when their friends get to know new people. For others, it's difficult to handle. In Chloe's case, it's very difficult for her to handle the fact that Marinette likes him too, and her attempt at communication with Marinette isn't in a healthy way. Friendships don't stem from who you knew first, it's who stuck with you through thick and thin, and so far it's clear that Adrian had been the one to be her rock and saving grace. With Marinette in the way, she fears she'd lose that. Chloe would believe that Marinette doesn't deserve Adrian, even if it backfires. It's why Chloe humiliates Marinette, berates and makes fun of her and calls her names. She's trying to scare her off. Her fluctuating trust that Adrian will abandon her for someone else is a defense mechanism. It's not a good one, but it's a shield she'd put up regardless. Most of the time, it's just Chloe making Adrian uncomfortable by being overly affectionate or disappointed, but he still does see the good in her. But the root cause of her mental health lies prominently with her parents' behavior and treatment. At one point, I thought it was inadvertent, but Style Queen changed my mind. I doubt they even care to know about how their daughter feels about not being able to see them much. Chloe had been left under the care of Jean, and while she berates him, he's practically her true caregiver. He's the voice of reason and often looks out for her. It's clear he sees the good in her too, and often witnesses the vulnerable side that is kept hidden from the world. Most of this is confirmed in Despair Bear, which is also another episode where we get to see her feeling remorse for treating someone else like garbage. Audrey doesn't remember Chloe's name most of the time, nor cares enough to try to remember at all. One could say she's worked with so many people that she can't remember her name, but really? And it's not just in that moment, it's all the time. I mean, sometimes my mom will call me my brother's name, but it's not like she's purposely doing it. Despite the way her mother treats her, Chloe continues to do her best to please her. For example, when she handles the seating situation at the fashion show. This is where the dramatic behavior comes in. This is where the clinginess and the fear of abandonment really stems from. Chloe emulates her mother. Her mother is definitely her number one in her life. She wants her to know that she's worth smiling for and spending time with. So the fact that Marinette got the opportunity to go with Audrey to the fashion show in New York, honestly, I would have acted the same way Chloe did. Yet again, it makes it look like Marinette is taking someone away from her, someone that Chloe cares about. To put salt on the wound, Audrey brushes it off and makes Chloe think that she isn't as exceptional as Marinette. It gives the illusion that Audrey prefers Marinette more than her own child. Not to mention, she says this statement.
The only exceptional thing about you, my dear, is your mother.
I'm referring to my statement earlier that Chloe felt like a real 14-year-old teen. Anyone at that age would act out. I would act like that too. Even when her mother was akumatized, Chloe stopped at nothing to please her. While Chloe developed a narcissistic personality, portraying herself as Queen Bee and holding herself to high regard, who's to say that she doesn't think the opposite as well? After all, she's well aware of her treatment of others. She knows she isn't well perceived, and her parents aren't there to assure that she is who she believes she is. In Maledictator, everyone partied when Chloe was out of the country. Now, I don't hate Chloe. She was annoying to me at first, but I didn't outright hate her. But she didn't deserve to have a party thrown because she wasn't present. It left a bitter taste in my mouth, and I felt very uncomfortable watching the episode. Chloe would have been yelled at how unfair she was for creating a celebration if someone were to leave the country. Adrian was right to be angry and was the only one angry and who stood up for her. Chloe may act like a total brat, but she has feelings too. The episode Queen Bee was what solidified my love for Chloe's character, because we not only got to see the stem of her behavior, but it was going to start the arc that was going to come. Chloe didn't get to be miraculous through the circumstances that the others had gotten it, and honestly, I liked that. It highlighted her morals and character. It kept the establishment that she is a cheater and would do anything to get her way to the top. While I want to believe that it was Audrey that was the catalyst for her becoming Queen Bee, I kind of point my fingers at Marinette, even if it's unconsciously, and I'm not fully blaming her. While Marinette has the opportunity to live her dream as a fashion designer, Chloe doesn't care about that. Chloe only sees Marinette as stealing Audrey from her. To Chloe, it's twice Marinette stole two people she values. She may have caused havoc for Paris, looking like a menace on the surface, but to herself, she wants to be a hero like Ladybug. She believes she is acting like Ladybug. Chloe wants to show her mother what good she could do, and Chloe showing the miraculous to the world was definitely in character, even if it did kind of got me angry the first time around. She had something to prove not only to the world, but to Audrey, that she was something special, more than Marinette. I mean, hearing her mother say someone you proclaimed to be your rival was special, Chloe was going to prove her wrong. Not wanting to get the miraculous back showed she still had the selfishness and false sense of truth that she's better than everyone as portrayed in season 1. Her reaction here proves that she still feels like a failure, even if she thought that she had amounted to something good in terms of being a hero like Ladybug. She definitely deserved the backlash because she not only put herself in danger, but the other citizens as well. This only further made her self-esteem dwindle, but this was building up to her becoming Queen Wasp. Knowing Hawkmoth found her exceptional made her believe her mother would eventually see it too. Then once she handed the Be Miraculous over, it solidified the character arc that was being built up. To prove she was a hero, she had to be the person she knew she could be, and even what Jean tells her she is. Chloe had to let go of the selfishness and cowardice that she had in season 1. I believe she was genuinely apologetic, even voicing how sorry she was. She had to come to terms with what she did was wrong. For the first time ever, Chloe had been hit with an epiphany that the way she was acting wasn't right. Chloe felt human to me. Seeing what she went through, the show doesn't cover much, but I knew deep down there was a sense of humanity within her. The fact that I went from detesting her guts to absolutely adoring her is my own little arc. She was on a road to redemption, and it seemed really smooth if not realistic. There were some hiccups, but it was the most linear the series has ever been with a character. She has so much work to do by gaining the trust of everyone. If anything, her character arc would have been similar to Pacifica from Gravity Falls. But season 3 happened and it killed my love for her. Instead of focusing on her redemption that should have been written in, it didn't happen. Not only has she regressed back to her season 1 persona, she completely forgot about everything. She even apparently had no idea that Marinette liked Adrien, even though throughout the whole series, she expressed clear jealousy towards Marinette, and it didn't feel like sarcasm. The writers butchered her character. Sure, old habits die hard, but there is nothing there that proves that she is still trying to be better. We can't get back the build-up we had in the last season unless they try to rehash her arc, which if they do, it will feel empty, and if she decides to be good, it will be out of nowhere. I doubt I was the only one waiting to see how she would have been redeemed. So, Chloe's defining trait, the spoiled rich brat. The icing on the sloppy cake is the fact that she isn't going to have the Be Miraculous anymore. Understandable, she nearly caused Paris' demise, but it could have been a temporary punishment. Heck, it could have been part of her character arc. Here's the possibility of what they could have done for her redemption in season 3. They could have had her apologize to every character she's harmed emotionally, if not in her own episode, sprinkle it through the season, and if not apologizing, maybe show through Marinette's eyes, like her witnessing Chloe attempt to change by being a little nicer to the other characters. It would take Chloe time to come to grips with what she did, since she isn't used to admitting she was wrong, but it shows that she's beginning to grow. Chloe's classmates would take their time to forgive her and have slight hesitation on their decision. It doesn't mean they'll never forgive her, and even if they do, it doesn't mean they'll become friends right away. This way, when the show shows Chloe in the background hanging out with her classmates, it doesn't feel jarring and out of place. Chloe only takes her time apologizing to Marinette because she's the person she dislikes the most. Now that Marinette is the holder of the Miraculouses, the writers could have used this moment to not only redeem Chloe, but have her find common ground with Marinette. Chloe keeps stating to Marinette that she will convince Ladybug to hand her the Miraculous back, even though she stays apologetic when giving it back for stealing it. Old habits die hard, so she still has a bit of her selfishness. This could be Marinette's chance as Ladybug to tell Chloe she has to earn it by being a good and honest person, because she knows Chloe values Ladybug as her hero. Chloe would take it to heart and do her best to genuinely change and earn her place back as Queen Bee. It doesn't have to be that way exactly, but it's a start for Chloe righting her wrongs and taking responsibility for her actions, something that reflects the old version of her back in season 1. The problem with Chloe in general is just bad writing. The writers try to villainize her a lot. I'm not talking about season 1 where that was established already. I'm talking about the season where they straight up murdered her. I know we are supposed to dislike her, but we're not supposed to outright hate her. So writing her to say an obviously racist comment to which no one in the episode points out or reprimands her, and effectively letting her get away with it, honestly dug her grave. Pointing back to the arc I mentioned, she was going to be redeemed and they wasted it by completely erasing and making her forget how far she's come. It's kind of strange, because while they villainize her exponentially, Marinette seems to do no wrong whatsoever, like she's some pure maiden. If Chloe had done everything Marinette did to Adrien, someone would notice. Just saying. And there you have it. She was written as the character we weren't supposed to like, being the antagonist who repeatedly created the villains of the week. But we were robbed. She deserved better. My love for her completely diminished past season 2. She was done dirty, and there was so much the writers could have done for her. She could have become a likable character for everyone, if not only me. But the writers stole what could have been their best arc yet, at least from their standards. The fact that I read on my previous video that there are no female writers on the staff anymore kind of bugs me. I'm not saying men aren't good writers, please don't twist my words, but having a female on board again would literally save the series. I don't really have any hope left for her in season 4. Admittedly, I'm afraid about what will happen overall. You'd think Ostruck would at least take some sort of criticism to heart. To work in an industry like that, you will always have to face some sort of opinion, even if you disagree. It's like every suggestion he gets, he nods his head because he thinks it's great. Anyway, this is all I have to say about Chloe Bourgeois' character. Do you agree with any of this? If you'd like to further discuss this, feel free to comment below or join the community Discord pinned in the comment to place your thoughts there. For future updates, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon. Stay tuned and thanks for watching. Kerry signing out.